Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial. This time we'll go over the simple present. The first question says, when do we use it? We use the simple present to talk about habits. For example, I'm punctual. It's also used to talk about daily routines. Here we have an example. I exercise every morning. We also use this tense to talk about laws. Here is an example. A person needs a driver's license to drive a car. We also use the simple present to talk about general truths. For example, the earth orbits the sun. Now the basic structure. When we express ideas using simple present, we have two main options for doing it. The first option is to use the verb to be. As we know, the verb to be is an irregular verb and changes its form when we conjugate it. For example, we say I am, he, she, it is, we, you, they, are. Let's see what happens in the affirmative sentences. I'm at home on weekends. He is at home on weekends. We are at home on weekends. Negative statements. I'm not at home on weekends. They're not at home on weekends. He's not at home on weekends. Other verbs. When we use other verbs for affirmative statements, we add the verb plus ns for he, she, or it. In the case of negative sentences, we use does not for the pronouns he, she, it. Here we have some examples. I read daily. She reads daily. Eric reads daily. Negative statements. I don't read daily. He does not read daily. She does not read daily. Let's see what happens with the questions. The first group of questions are called yes/no questions, which require just confirmation. In the case of verb to be, we have, are you at home? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. For the affirmation questions, we need to use the WH questions at the beginning of a sentence. For example, when, where, who, what, how, why, and more. We place that at the beginning and we'll have, why are you at home? I'm home because it's Sunday. Let's see what happens to the other verbs. For the yes/no questions, we will use the auxiliary do or does, depending on the subject. For example, do you read daily? Yes, I do. No, I don't. We have another example. Does she read daily? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. In the case of WH questions, we use the WH words at the beginning of the sentence, and we use the auxiliary do. And we have, where'd you read? I read at home. Finally, we have here some special observations about the other verbs. If I use the pronouns I, we, you, they, we just use the verb in its base form. For example, I work on weekends. However, when we use the third person singular, he, she, it, we add an s to a verb. So we have, he works on weekends. There are some other cases that we need to take into account when adding an s to a third person singular. If the verb ends in y, we take out the y and add an I and es. So we have, she studies on weekends. If a verb ends in o, we add an es. For example, Eric goes to the gym on Mondays. If we have an s at the end of the verb, we add an es. She misses his father. If we have an x, we add an es. So we have, Joe fixes cars. When we have a ch at the end of the verb, we also add an es. For example, Alex watches the TV after supper. If a verb ends in sh at the end, we also add an es. For example, Alex washes his car on Fridays. And that's all for now. Click on the next video, you will have an activity to practice it. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe for more content.